Welcome to another spiritual awakening. That not spiritual awakening, but Revolution Sundays is one of those Sundays. Welcome to Revolution Sundays. I'm Dr. A.G. Green Sr. You just saw that glitch that tells you what kind of morning it has been for me. Love you. Come on into this digital conclave, this digital space. I am so excited and delighted to have you with me today. Tag and share and tag. Tag and share and tag. We've got some wonderful things that we want to continue to discuss with you here on today. Tag and share and tag. Tag and share and tag. It is a wonderful day. We are declaring and decreeing that it is an awesome day. We are declaring and decreeing that it is a great day. Share and tag and share. Almighty, I just thank you for this moment that has been granted to us. We make the most of it to open ourselves up to you, to be led and guided by the Spirit. Lead us and guide us into all truth. And as you're doing that, we just want to say thank you for everything and all things, even the things that appear to be stressful and resistant and difficult. We are thankful for they are somehow, some way connected to something good. And we thank you that your will is done in us, with us, and through us. In Yeshua's name, by his power, his way, and his consciousness, it is so. And so it is. Tag and share and tag. Tag and share and tag. Dr. A.G. Green Sr. Again, I am honored and privileged to be with you here again on today. And I hope that things are going well with you. We're going to check in with you in just a few minutes, and we're going to, of course, give people a few more opportunities to log on here today. Again, we are just grateful. We're grateful to be here. We're grateful to be in your presence. We're grateful to have this opportunity to just connect with you again. So we want to remember again to tag and share and tag and share and tag. That's right. Speak as you come into this digital space. We are excited. We are delighted. We are all of those things. And don't always remember to tag and share, like, and share as many hearts as you possibly can, because it has a positive impact on the algorithm. Thank you again, Grand Rising, and good morning or good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day that you are watching me in the world, whether live or in replay. We do have sometimes hundreds of people who come and watch us in replay. How do I know that? Because I can see the metrics. So again, I'm thankful and grateful for you here on today. And I am always reminding you, based on Philippians 4:13, that no matter what you're facing, no matter what your life appears to be, even if there are some obstacles, even if there are some obstinate things, even if there are some difficult situations, I always like to remind you that I can. So I want you to type in the comment section, I can. Type it in the comment section, I can. I can overcome. I can endure. I can manifest greater. Type it in the comment section, I can. I can. You've got to know that you can. You've got to believe that you can. You got to recognize that you can. You've got to understand that you can. You've got to embrace that you can. I can, I can, I can. Type it in the comment section. I can. I can. I can. Come on, type it in the comment section. I can. I can endure trials and tribulations. I can rise above circumstances. I can deal with all of the issues and circumstances that I might be facing right now. You've got to know that you know that you know that you know that you know that I can. It's a powerful thing It is a powerful thing to know that I can. And therefore, you are the offspring of a divine, omnipotent being. That doesn't make you powerless, it makes you powerful. And so I want you to type it in the comment section and speak it out loud to yourself. I am powerful. Now to him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh within us. And so I want you to embrace the power. I want you to know the power. I want you to accept the power by typing in the comment section and speaking out loud in your own atmosphere. I am powerful. Oh, we're thankful that we are powerful. I am powerful. Therefore, I make decisions. I am powerful. Therefore, I make good choices. I am powerful. Therefore, I am able to deal with any evil. I'm able to deal with any adversity. I am powerful. I am able to think, imagine, and speak and see whatever I believe come into reality in my life. I am powerful in that I can govern my health. I am powerful in that I can govern my mentality and state of being. I am powerful in that I can, if necessary, speak to mountains and mountains will be removed. That's it. Own your powerfulness on today. So glad to be with you. I want to make sure that you can see it, hear me well. So I want to get some feedback on YouTube and Facebook. Can you see and hear me well? Let me know if you can see and hear me well. Can you see and hear me well? Before I move forward, I want to know if you can see and hear me well. So grateful, so grateful, so grateful for you, and you. Want to make sure that I'm coming through loud and clear. All right, I got one yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very good. Anybody else? Want to make sure that okay, very good. Thank you so much. Appreciate the feedback. So you know what I'm going to ask you next. You know what I'm going to ask you next. You know what I'm going to ask you next. I want to know what's in your cup. What's in your cup? Talk back to me and tell me right now what's in your cup, and even what you might be munching on here today. What's in your cup? And remember, this is the no judgment zone here. Whatever is in your cup is whatever's in your cup. And today I happen to have agua. I started out with a protein shake, and now I'm drinking water. So tell me today, beloved, what's in your cup? What's in your cup? Talk back to me. What's in your cup today? I want to know, what are you sipping on, or what are you rocking with, or even what are you eating? All right, let's see. Destiny says she's got water in her cup. All right. See, my Krista says she's got coffee with sweet and creamy creamer deliciousness. All right. So Destiny and I have water. Anybody else want to share what's in your cup today? What's in your cup today? What some of y'all might be eating. Let's see, Vivian, here we go. Extraordinary creamy hazelnut coffee. Hazelnut creamer. So you got the coffee, Vivian, with the hazelnut creamer. Never tried that combination before. I'll definitely have to look into that. All right. Thank you all so much for sharing what's in your cup today. I have another question for you. Of course, we're grateful and thankful for everything. We normally like to start the show out with expressing praise and expressing gratitude to God for all that we are and all that we have, or whatever it is you want to express your gratitude and praise for. But I've got to ask you right now, what are you thankful for? We like to start out with thanksgiving. We like to start out with praise. We like to start out with honoring those things, no matter how insignificant they may seem to us, that we're grateful for. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for this bottle of water. I'm grateful for health. I'm grateful for strength. I'm grateful for my mother. I'm grateful for my love. Just a lot of things I'm grateful for. This device I'm watching you on. I am thankful and grateful. So tell me right quick, what are you thankful for? What are you thankful for? Talk to me. What are you thankful for? I want to know what you are thankful for here on today. And it is important that we practice thanksgiving and gratitude every day. Listen, you want to live your life by looking through lenses of thanksgiving all the time. That way, not only are you creating a reality that enables you to see good in even the worst circumstances and situations, but you're also controlling your state of mind and your state of being. Thank you, Vivian. She says, life, family, friends, employment, shelter, awesomeness. Krista says, I'm thankful for my life and home. Wonderful. Anybody else want to share what you are thankful for on today? Again, being thankful and being grateful is one of the most powerful things you can do, but it is also one of the most powerful concepts or powerful things that you could understand, because so many times people get caught in a loop of pessimism and negativity, and they don't understand that as they interpret that, they also transmit that. Let's see, Destiny says, I'm thankful for everything: life, happiness, doors opening, roof over my head, transportation, friends and family, etc. Awesomeness, wonderful. Thank you all for sharing what you are thankful for, and try and take inventory of what you're thankful for. We kind of did a thankful or a gratitude praise. And let me just take a poll here, and we want people to be honest. How many days in a row have you expressed being thankful or grateful for something? I want to see how many days in a row have you expressed being thankful or grateful for something lately? That's just lately. Lately. Has it been 2 days in a row? Has it been 5 days in a row? That's the first question. You know, how many days in a row? And was it genuine? Did it just come from your mouth as not a chore, but as a routine? Or were you genuinely thankful and grateful? So what's your streak? Tell me about your streak. How many days in a row? I can't count because every day I practice gratitude. So let's see. She says, Destiny says 6 days. All right. All right. Feels like every day. All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. Anyone else want to share? Do you know what your streak is? You know what your streak is? And we want to keep that going. Okay. Somebody say daily. All right. Anybody else? We want to keep that streak going. We want to keep it going. Let me tell you, if you incorporate that into your mindset, it would develop your mindset. Pastor Joe Green Jr. is on. He says every day. You've got to learn to practice it every day. In everything, give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. But we don't understand the ramifications of the text, the positive consequences of all of that. It is not just that you are thankful to the divine, to the Almighty, to Yeshua, but you're also developing an attitude of gratitude. You're also shaping your psychology. You're shaping your mentality. You're shaping your consciousness. You're shaping, your state of consciousness. You're shaping your state of being. There's something about having a mindset, hear me, that's brightened by positivity, that's brightened by faith, that's brightened by belief, that has a knowing, a software of knowing that runs at all times. That knowing is praise. When I say knowing in this instance, I mean knowing that you have many things to be thankful for. And I have found out, when we focus more on counting the things we're grateful for, we have less time to count the things that may be causing us problems. When we spend more time picking out the things we're thankful and grateful for, we have less time to complain about the things that seem to be challenging us. Did what I just say make sense? Did what I just say make sense? I want some feedback. Did what I just say make sense. And as I said, other than honoring God, the thing you are doing is developing within yourself a mindset that I am thankful at all times. Hear me. And when you develop that as a mindset, the way you interpret events in your world will change. I'm going to say it again. When you adopt it as a mindset, the way you interpret events in your world will change, because you won't somehow, some way feel like there's a conspiracy against you, and you won't somehow, some way feel like you never have or you always lack, or all of these different things that come to our mind to say or to think, or to grieve or to mourn as it relates to patterns in our lives. But you will always, 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 always energize yourself from within, but with positivity in praise. So I'm so thankful and grateful that you all have shared that with us here on today. All right, we're going to go to Romans 8:28. Romans 8:28. And I want you to prepare to, somebody to prepare to put it up on the screen for us. Romans 8:28. And I trust and hope that all is well with you, and you. Romans 8:28 is what we're looking at on today. Romans 8:28. And we've been talking from a subject. This is going to be part 9 in this series. Part 9 in this series. So many of you already know what it is. I'm looking for the graphics so I can put it up on the screen. I've got so many. Look like this is number 8 here. So let me see if somebody's put the scripture up yet. Thank you, Krista here. Let's see. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. All right. Thank you so much. And so we've been talking from the subject of, do you know this is part 8? Do you know this is part 8? And this is part 8 as I am doing this live in the 8th month of our calendar year. So I want you to type it in the comment section. Do you know? Do you know? Type that in the comment section. Do you know? Do you know? And Almighty, we thank you for guidance. We thank you for instruction. We thank you for revelation. We thank you for the increase of wisdom and the expansion of knowledge. And we bless you and praise you now. In Yeshua's name, it is so, and so it is. Type it in the comment section. Do you know? Thank you so much. It really is a wonderful, wonderful question. And of course, I have talked about know from various different angles, the definition of know, what it means to know. We've used philosophical branches like epistemology. We've borrowed a little bit from metaphysics. We've borrowed from faith and spirituality in expanding on the concept of know. And we have shared with you how what you know literally shapes your perception and your perspective, and they're not the same. I was doing a little research this morning on that, and in a future time, I will do some presentations on perception and perspective. They're not necessarily the same, but what you know has more of a bearing and an influence on your perspective, So there are a lot of things that can be said. There are a lot of things that can be presented to you. But if you don't really know, then you don't know. If you don't know how to make a cake, you don't know. If you don't know how to change a tire, you don't know. You can have a tire in front of you with the appropriate tools. You can have the the apparatus to jack up the car that we call the jack. You could have the crowbar. You could have the lug nut wrench. You can have all those things in front of you. But if you don't know how to change a tire, it is useless to you. There are many people all day, every day, like me, who are in kitchens that are filled with all kinds of ingredients, but we don't know how to take that diverse collection of ingredients and somehow, some way synthesize it into amalgamation of tasty delight in terms of a dish or a meal. We don't know how to cook. We don't know how to bake. Some of us, most of y'all do. But what good is it to be in a kitchen that's full of all kinds of ingredients? That means there's a collection of meals in the boxes, or a collection of meals in the ingredients, but yet you don't have the knowledge of how to bring them all together to create a dish. So it's not enough to just see something. It's not enough to just see something. And one thing I'm learning about perception is it's sensorial based, or sense based, the interpretation of what your senses bring you. And we'll expand on it, as I said, in another time. Your perception, of course, is about your collection of experiences. It is the database of life itself: thoughts, emotions, things you know, culture, so forth and so on. So you can be in the midst of something and just not know. You can hear something and just not know. So you can hear them talking about technology, or talking about a cell phone, but not really know how the cell phone works. My first degree is in electronic engineering technology. And sometimes I'm listening to people talk about technology, a phone, a tablet, or whatever, and they don't really know. They know surface level, but sometimes in trying to describe how the device works, they're describing it in error because they don't have the knowledge base in terms of, on the component level, as to why that device does what it does. So knowing something can be the difference, again, in failing and succeeding. Knowing something can be the difference between life and death. Knowing something can be the difference in choosing something bad and choosing something good. All right. What you know is very important. All believers do not know the same thing. I want you to type in the comment section, there are levels to this thing. Type it in the comment section. There are levels to this thing. I want you to type it in the comment section. There are levels to this thing. We have a saying here that all things are not created equal. And what we really mean by that is, in every field of study, people are not on the same level in certain fields of study. I'll give you an example. I have called into companies multiple times, the same company multiple times. And I'm on the phone with one representative, and they said, well, it's this, it's that, and the other, and we can't do that. All right. And then I was dissatisfied, or something happened, and I called back again and got another representative and said, well, I don't know who told you that, but we definitely can do this, that, and the other. The difference is the level of the knowledge base between the two individuals. All right. You can talk to people about various different types of subjects, from politics to spirituality to legality or to the law. And it is very possible that you're going to get different interpretations of information. And you know why? Because you need to understand that you are communicating with people, watch this, based on, they're communicating with you, excuse me, in the exchange based on what they know, your ability to hold, comprehend, process, and understand what they're saying is also based on what you know. All right. So there are levels to this thing. Knowing is important. So I don't know, I'm going with the flow. This is not in my notes. So I want you to understand that the level of life that you and I live is based on the level of knowledge that we have. And Again, when I say knowledge, I'm not talking about knowledge as potential energy, knowledge as something that is just potentiality, knowledge as something that is book, book knowledge. No, I'm talking about knowledge in the aspect of the application of it. So knowing to apply it, knowing to apply it, knowing to apply it will set you apart from other people in terms of what you know to apply. I want you to type it in the comment section. What do I know? Type it in the comment section. What do I know? Just ask yourself the question. What do I know? I don't want to get stuck on no. I just love the word no. I love everything it represents and stands for in various, genres. Knowing is very, very, very relevant to all of our experiences. So this text is believed to be written by the Apostle Paul, and he is writing it to a group of people that he believes has the same consensus in terms of what eido, that Greek word knowing, is. And in the Greek, this knowing is more of a perception, sensually translated or sensually interpreted experience. So he's basically using a natural illustration to share a spiritual principle. So when they would hear that in Greek, they would know that that word has something to do with what their senses know or what their senses interpret. So in other words, he's saying what we espouse as truth, what we participate in as truth, what we know as truth, we have discern and examine in the natural, just as we discern and examine it in the natural, we have also discerned and examined it in the spiritual. So what did he know? He said he knew that all things work together for the good. That's what he said he knew. He knew about synergeho. He knew about synergy. He knew about the interaction or cooperation of two or more organizations, substances, or other agents to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate effects. He believed that he knew, family, that the whole universe, by the guidance of the Almighty, is conspiring when you know something and when you believe something and when you love God to partner with you to bring those things into existence and bring those things into fruition in your personal life. So can I say something to you and I today? And I'm going to go back to what I started talking about earlier. For example, if you know to be grateful every day, then you will know that that is going to somehow, some way impact your outlook on life. It's number one. Number two, if you know to be grateful every day, and in that gratefulness, you're grateful for favor, you believe within yourself what Paul is saying, that the sum total of events that happen in my life, even the distasteful ones, even the miserable ones, somehow, some way are in a synergistic relationship, a seemingly separate listing or separate listing of entities, separate listings of beings, separate listings of things, separate listings of persons, separate listings of what we consider to be misery, whether it be death, whether it be loss, and all these other things that we can enumerate here today that have been a painful course or cadre of experiences. If somehow, some way, your faith is solid and strong enough to recognize, or strong enough to have a knowing, a deep knowing that this is not going to kill me if I don't allow it to kill me, if I believe it won't kill me, if I believe it's not designed to kill me, if I believe it cannot kill me, if I believe it cannot destroy me, Lord have mercy, then it cannot destroy me. And if I believe that this painful thing is merely a stepping stone into something better, that I'm more likely to see it, to step on it, to elevate into something better. So, what is your relationship with all things? My Lord, I got to ask you the question. What is your relationship with all things? See, sometimes I tell you, I'm amazed myself with the things that God says. What is your relationship with all things? You've got a relationship with God. What is your relationship with the universe? What is your relationship with the contents of this world? What is your relationship with beings? What is your relationship with scenarios? What is your relationship with your coworkers? What is your relationship with government agencies? What is your relationship with politics? What is your relationship with your career? I'm asking you this question. You know why? Because they are a part of the all things in the equation. They are a part of the all things factor. They are a part of the all things beings, the all things existence, the all things category. What is your relationship with them? See, hear me, if you don't know, or if you, excuse me, know in a limited capacity what your relationship is with the all things, then how the all things are interpreted in your life is going to be in a very limited, crude capacity. I need you to hear what I'm saying today. Okay, so let's again go back to the placebo effect, which is really faith. If you know that the pill has something in it to make you better, whether it's got something in it or not, if you believe it's got something in it to make you better, then guess what it's going to do for you? It's going to make you better. That knowing in this case is a faith that has been released to say, or to create a healing effect from something that's actually not in the pill. So I'm using that illustration to say that if you don't know, family, if your relationship with all things is that I am vulnerable to the whims of other people's decisions, I'm vulnerable to the choices of other people. Come on now. I'm gonna ask you again, what's your relationship with all things? If in the relationship with all things, you believe that a person on a job can stop you, that's your relationship with all things. If you believe a sickness and disease can kill and destroy you, then that tells me about your relationship with all things. If you believe that getting fired from a job can hinder you and keep you from getting an education, then that's your relationship with all things. If you believe that past mistakes in relationships can cause you not to have great relationships now or tomorrow because you're so damaged and wounded by what was done in the past, then that is your relationship to all things. That means you have empowered all things to control you now. So the question is, what is your relationship with all things? Because we think that somehow, some way, we don't have an impact, we don't have a bearing, and we don't have authority over all things. We think that somehow, some way, because something is across the country from us, or because somebody is sitting on the other side of the desk and making the decision, because they're making a decision from a distinctive, individualized physical body, we think that I don't have a relationship with them as a part of the sum total of all things. We think that when we go to the car lot, that there's a salesman who exists in an individualized body who is responsible for trying to make a sale so that he can, create or have a commission. We think that he or she gets to determine what happens in our lives. And then your knees are knocking when it's time for them to run your credit, because you think that the woman who runs the credit in the credit department, and you think that the credit system, again, which is a part of the collection of the sum total of what we call all things, is the one who will have the influence on your destiny, the influence on whether you can drive a car or not. We think the same thing in the real estate field as it relates to houses. So I'm asking you again the question, what is your relationship with all things? Are you subservient to all things? Are you weak to all things? Are you powerless to all things? What is your relationship? Watch this, to money, which is energy, and everything I described as energy, but which again is a part of the collection of the sum total of all things. So, do you think that money does not like you? Do you think that money is trying to run and hide from you? Do you think that, I am just the type of person who has always struggled, and it seems like I'm going to continue to struggle because I got to fight and scratch for everything I get? And so, therefore, I am vulnerable to the lack. I'm vulnerable to not having, and I'm vulnerable to people in positions of power and authority in places I want to access to decide whether or not I can actually earn or manifest a decent income. What is your relationship to money in the grand scheme of all things? I hope I'm making sense. Is anybody hearing what I'm saying right now? I got to ask you, because what you think about all things determines how they will show up in your world. I'm going to say it again. What you think about all things determines how it's going to show up in your world. All things, all things. Paul uses the terminology all things, all things. Again, it's defined as every, any, all, the whole, all things. That's exactly what it is. Hear me. If you don't see all things as being on your team, then you're automatically are going to experience a failed dream. I know I just rhymed. If you don't see all things as being on your team, then you're going to almost immediately experience a failed dream. Somebody need to type that in the comment section and quote me and put it on social media somewhere. I want you to understand and realize that if you give power to all things over you, oh, you're driving down the road and you believe that that driver who represents all things can hurt you. You believe that that driver who is a part of all things can somehow hurt you, somehow kill you, somehow destroy you. Some of you all believe fear that's in the collection of the sum total of all things. Fear of whatever it is has power and control over you. So that's your relationship. Your relationship is a serving, is a submitted to relationship to that thing. You are empowering it. You are giving it power over you. And I got to continue to ask this question again and again. What is your relationship with all things? Because Paul is saying that he knows through his relationship with the Almighty that all things are somehow, some way in alignment with what he believes, in alignment with what he desires. Ooh, somebody help me up in here. Somebody help me up in here. Somebody help me up in here. Am I making any sense to anybody? Talk back to me right quick. Am I making any sense to anybody? If you don't have a better relationship with all things, then how all things influences your life is going to happen in a way that you do not appreciate, that you will not appreciate. There's a reason why you had the flat tire. Yes, the tire just ran out of air. But what if you believe that the flat tire could lead to something better? Do you realize that sometimes flat tires and broken down cars create a sense of faith and motivation in us to upgrade? Do you understand that sometimes the broken engine of a relationship, the broken engine of a marriage finally brings us to a place where we start realizing I'm worthy of something newer and better. And from that seed that was planted, from the frustration of dealing with that hoopty relationship, that hoopty person, come on now, put you in a position to say, well, I should be driving better. I should be living with better. I should be, existing with better. You didn't see it then, but it was a cooperative component that was a part of the all things existence, the all things in terms of the sum total of everything that's populated in this universe in any shape or form to launch you, to launch you. Listen, if you didn't know it was bad, if you didn't get to the place that it was so bad, you would have stayed there with a battered mentality. You would have stayed there in that ecosystem swimming like it was normal. But you got to the place where it became so toxic to you that you start realizing this isn't normal. This swimming pool I'm swimming in that's got all this kind of crap and everything else in it. I wish I had more likes and hearts. This is not really normal. This is not the best situation for me. And if you think that a swimming pool is all the water there is in the world, you can't even comprehend the concept of a pond. You can't comprehend the concept of a lake. You can't comprehend the concept of a sea. You can't comprehend the concept of an ocean. But sometimes it is you getting kicked out of the pool, or it is you kicking yourself out of the pool. Come on here, somebody. You've got to learn how to see the good. You've got to learn how to know the good. If you believe the good, you give good permission to work for you. I'm going to say it again. If you believe the good, you give the good permission to work for you. See, this is not a God thing, because God has enabled these resources, these spiritual principles, to be hardwired into the fabric of everything, including us. It's just that we don't know how to discern. We have not accessed a knowledge base yet to connect us with what already is. Wow. Am I making any sense to anybody? Talk back to me. Talk back to me. It's just like there is oil in the soil. I'm going to say it again. There is oil in the soil. And the people that know where the oil in the soil is are the ones who are going to get rich. They have the knowing. They have the knowledge of where it is. It's the people who are devoid of this knowledge and then devoid of these resources who will not be able to capitalize on something that's already in the soil. So I'm saying to you, there is something already in you. There is something that already is you. And if you activate that knowledge, if you activate that knowing that's already embedded in you, then you get to capitalize, you get to take advantage, you get to leverage, my God, that knowledge. And I have shared with a few people privately that I have learned from being exposed to knowledge, certain things that I can do as a spirit being. And yes, I have intentionally experimented, and I'm continuing to experiment, because what has been told to you as a spirit being is illegal to do, it is legal to you. And so now you're going to save yourself a lot of heartaches, and you're also going to get a chance to upgrade your life and then upgrade somebody else's life if you have the knowledge or you know your capabilities. Oh my God, I wish I had more likes and hearts. So your relationship with all things is going to determine how the all things treats you. Your relationship with all things is going to determine how the all things treats you. Wow. If you keep thinking, again, as an individualized concept or an individualized point in time, the all thing as being a job, and they just not going to hire me, I just don't have the qualifications. If you keep thinking that over and over and over and over and over again, then the all things is going to eventually show up in your life. That part of the all things is going to show up in your life as a no, as a rejection. And I hope somebody's hearing what I'm saying today. So I've got to emphasize this today, because again, whether he was delusional or not, Paul believed that the scope of all things, the scope of all things, that's what we consider to be Wonderful things, that's what we consider to be unsavory things. That's what we consider to be good things. That's what we consider to be bad things. That's what we consider to be holy things. That's what we consider to be unholy things. If you honestly know who you are and what you are and the authority you possess and the relationship you have with the Almighty, then you will recognize through your lens of life, oh, this hurts. And I'm not saying it won't hurt. I'm going to say it again. I'm not trying to tell you don't feel the pain. That's foolishness. I'm not trying to tell you to deny that it happened. That's foolishness. That's suppressing it. No, what I'm trying to say is own that, but at the same time start saying, but good is coming out of this for me. Great things are coming out of this for me. This has been allowed to happen so that something better could happen. There was a gentleman I heard, a metaphysical teacher, and he said that I think I've shared this with you all before, I have, but I've known numerous stories like this, but this one was powerful in particular, how he owned a shop and he was leaving his shop. He was walking down the street and the man recognized him as the owner of the shop. And he basically asked him for, prayer. He was homeless. He didn't have nothing, so forth and so on. And he felt, so the guy he was talking to, who was a spiritual teacher, said to him, he felt so bad for him. And at the time, he wasn't the millionaire that he is now. And he said to him, this is what I want you to say to yourself every day when you get up in the morning. And he said, I want you to say it at times throughout the day. And he said, I want you to say it at times before you go to sleep. And he said, I want you to say, every day, in every way, my life is getting better and better. Every day, in every way, that's it. I'm getting better and better. That's it. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. That's all he told the man to say. So when he planted that seed, he was altering the man's relationship to all things. Literally, because once that man received that seed into the soil of his heart, he literally started believing every day in every way, I am getting better and better, which meant that his relationship to homelessness, not having a place, had to get better, which meant his relationship to walking and not having transportation had to get better, which meant his relationship with poor health had to get better, which meant his relationship with being unemployed had to get better. He said he was somewhere walking down the street like 7, 8, 9, 10 years later, and a man walked up on him and he didn't even recognize who he was. This is what the spiritual teacher said. He didn't even know who he was. He said, do you remember me? He's like, no. He said, I am the guy, the formerly homeless guy who caught you outside your store one day. Actually, he had come in his store and then they talked outside the store. And he said, you told me to say every day and everywhere I'm getting better and better. He said, yeah, I remember you. He said, well, let me tell you what happened. He said, within 2 weeks after talking to you, I got a job. He said, then a few months later, I ended up getting my own vehicle. He said, then I ended up getting my own place to stay. He said, now I own my own construction company. All because he said to himself every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. And Paul, in this text, is trying to tell you it's the same principle. If you know that all things work together for the good because you love God and are operating in purpose, then you got to know that these things are your friends. These things are in relationship with you. These things are connected to you. These things will bend and respond to you. Lord have mercy. I wish I had more likes and hearts. Am I making any sense to anybody? This is what I'm saying. We're around here groveling for nothing. We're around here begging for nothing. When the only thing that is required is that you apply what you know, that you live from a place of this kind of knowing, and people would think, yeah, you crazy. You in the worst accident of your life. And you say, well, you thank God. Well, I'm not thanking God that I was in an accident. I'm thanking God for the good that's going to come out of an accident. Am I making any sense? I was in an accident and it was very unpleasant and I had to have some therapy, family. But the good that came out of that accident was a check that helped me at the time take care of my family and pay some bills. Am I making any sense to anybody? Sometimes these things happen. I need y'all to catch what I'm saying. Woo, I feel like running here. Sometimes these things happen to upgrade you. To upgrade you. And the Almighty God, the source, however you want to call him, I like to refer to God, knows that you can handle the restoration process, knows that you can handle what's going to happen next, because the Almighty decided that that was going to be a part of the cooperative component. Says now you're going to tap into the law, says now you're going to tap into and access the principle that's already there. Since you're going to access it now, that it is known by this intelligence that you are able to process through everything that happens after that to get your upgrade, which would be a check. I hope I'm making sense to somebody today. And so what started out, watch this, as a bad sexual harassment situation on your job that took you by surprise and put you in a place of darkness and depression, hear me, if you start seeing the good to continue to enhance your self-concept, to continue to fortify loving yourself, because you might have started realizing in that situation, I didn't see myself the way I should have. I let people and their responses to my complaint drive me into darkness, and I allow the way that person came at me to make me feel cheap. Hear me, you should never let anybody make you feel cheap. But what happened from that? A lawsuit. And what happened from that lawsuit? Finances. And what happened from those finances? Your ability to help your family. Your ability to live the kind of life you desire. You didn't cook it up that way. But once you start realizing that there's some good that I'm going to believe is coming out of this, then good came out of it. Ooh, my. Am I making any sense? You have a relationship with bad relationships, because you get to decide if good comes out of a bad relationship. If you keep seeing just misery coming from a bad relationship, if you keep seeing the rest of your life is filled with a pathway of darkness from a bad relationship, if you continue to see the valley of depths and despair, the valley of irreversible healing and wholeness, if you keep living in the ocean of doom and gloom because of a series of events that you're allowed to precipitate you into this state of consciousness, then guess what the rest of your life is going to be? Going down the river of life without a paddle. But if somehow, some way you believe I get wings through this, that's good. If somehow, some way you start recognizing some adjustments, if somehow, some way you just start believing and accepting, I'm going to grow from this, I'm going to become better from this, I'm going to turn and loose some of this crap, and I'm going to take on new things that are going to enhance me, empower me, strengthen me. Ooh, my. I wish somebody heard what I'm saying. Let me ask you a question. You might not like them, but let me ask you a question. This is, again, you've got to see the good. You've got to work with good now. See, I didn't even get to, this is what happens to me. I get off track and I go down this road. I should go down this road. But how many of y'all have heard of a guy named Tyler Perry? How many of y'all have heard of a guy named Tyler Perry? Type it in the comments, yes or no. Have you heard of a guy named Tyler Perry? Incidentally, fun fact, my cousin Brian Andrews is a professional drummer, played in Tyler Perry's first play in New Orleans. It was in one or two of his movies in the band. But how many of y'all have heard of a guy named Tyler Perry? Well, some of you all know that Tyler Perry was physically and sexually abused as a child. Physically and sexually abused as a child. So do you realize that one of the reasons why he wrote the storylines he wrote was from the pain of his own life and also the pain that he saw in other people's lives connected to him. Now, you might not like his movies. I don't watch a lot of his stuff. You might not like his series. You might not like any of those things, but watch this. He saw that there is good in this. I get to reflect back to the world grief and pain, but then give you a silver lining with it. That's how his plays started. I went to his earlier plays. Now he's a billionaire. But my point is, if he had not seen good in his darkness, and if he had not taken that good and put it on a piece of paper to inspire people, then he most likely would still be in the, I don't want to say the underclass, but in a much lower class financially than what he is, and would not be known globally for who and what he is. Because somehow, some way, in the hideousness of tragedy, he still saw the God of good and the good of God. Oh my God, I feel that one. I wish I had some likes and hearts. I feel that one right now, deep in my sha-na-na. So I'm encouraging you right now to understand and recognize that it is imperative for you to have a better relationship with all things. Hear me. Have a better relationship with all things. I want you to type it in the comment section. I'm going to improve my relationship with all things. Type it in the comment section. I'm going to improve my relationship with all things. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm going to improve my relationship with all things. Don't complain about the sun beaming down on your head, because some of y'all have experienced like me. It's because that sun was beaming down on your head, it caused you to look down and you saw money on the ground. I know I'm rhyming today. It's not intentional. It just happened. The sun on your head that day caused you to look down and see money on the ground, or something distracted around you that caused you to look down and see money on the ground. Are you hearing me? All of that is in a part of these all things. Sometimes, family, I'm gonna say this. Sometimes you need to be told about yourself, and then sometimes you need to be insulted to check your own self. There have been many things that people have said about me to challenge me that wasn't even true about me that made me better. I had to learn how to not see it as a death nail, as a death blow, as an assault or attack, but to extract from it good. The greatest athletes in the world are all fueled by somebody somewhere who told them what they couldn't do. I need you to hear what I'm saying. So I need you to recognize that you determine your relationship with the good. So listen, when somebody say you ain't no good, when somebody say, well, you're not going to succeed, when somebody say you got too many of this going on into your life, and had you not done this prematurely, and nobody going to want you in this state, listen, don't take it personal as bad. Take it personal as good. Oh, this is good. This is good. This is good motivation. Okay, now you got me on the right track. Now I'm going to shift my consciousness and see good in what happened to me. I'm going to see good coming out of this. Come on now, I need y'all to hear what I'm saying today. I have been in many circumstances and situations, family, where it was just torturous. It was challenging. It was hard. It was difficult. And even back then, something in me, because Romans 8:28 has always been one of my favorite texts in the scripture, said within me, but believe that the good, start seeing good coming out of this. Start seeing good coming. Believe that good is on the payroll and it works for you. So I'm encouraging you now. To shift and change your relationship with all things. Because if you do not alter your perspective of all things, if you do not improve your relationship with all things, then guess what? All things is going to continue to show up in your life sporadically. All things is going to continue to show up in your life in a way that you don't like it, in a way that you don't appreciate it, in a way that seems like it's on a sinister mission to destroy you. I need you to hear what I'm saying today. If you just continue to see these situations as circumstances that have nothing to do with you, but everything to do with everybody else. Am I making any sense? It's got everything to do with everybody else but you. I feel like running. I feel something. If you continue to just think that these things are independent of you and have nothing to do with your judgment and interpretation of them, then you can't benefit like Paul to know that it's all working together for your good. So if you think that somehow, some way it can kill you or destroy you, it can harm you or hinder you or limit you or bind you or kick you out or throw you out or control the sum total of who you are, that's not the kind of relationship of knowing that you want to have with all things. Wow. I got to ask you, what do you know? Do you know that you're so loved by the Almighty that you are empowered to believe in your relationship to all things that they work for you? Isolation, hear me, prepares you for good company. Rejection, family, prepares you for the best kind of love if you allow it, if you can see the good in it. In my isolation, in my rejection, start self-reflection. From self-reflection, deep meditation. From deep meditation, inner transformation. From inner transformation, the change of conceptualization. From the change of conceptualization, the stimulation of my imagination to now aspire to see a version of me that I've never seen before. And once I, in my imagination, revisit it consistently and persistently, seeing a healed version of myself, a better version of myself, with all of the qualities intrinsically and extrinsically that are my birthright, from love to lifestyle to finances to family to business. Now my imagination starts creating and crafting and embedding and encoding itself through materialization that we call manifestation. My God, I feel like running. Who is God talking to you to right now? I've got tears in my eyes. I'm not just talking to me, I'm talking to you. Your relationship with all things must change. All things cannot be seen as after you. All things cannot be seen as enemies who have the upper hand on you. All things cannot be seen as sneak attacks that can totally create permanent setbacks. What is your relationship with all things? You don't know. I haven't even told half of my story. If I had not come through the valley of the shadow of death numerous times, I'd be dead right now. if I did not believe that all things work it together, if for the good, for my good, knowing that I love God, according to Matthew, with all my heart, mind, and soul. If I didn't know that there is a law in place that if I access it, I get to draw from the benefits of that good, you wouldn't be seeing this mug on the screen you're watching it on. And I challenge you, I encourage you, I hope to inspire you to aspire to know that you have a relationship with all things. And you get to decide how it works out for you. Let me pray. Almighty, I thank you that no matter what everybody in this setting has experienced, no matter what they've endured, no matter what they've been conditioned to believe, no matter what reality they have projected, no matter how much power they have given away, no matter how many things they have lost, regardless of all of the people who walked away from them, regardless of the numerous setbacks, inimitable heartache and pain, regardless of near death for some, tragedy that seemed to be all too much of a commonplace. Despite the misery in their bodies, I speak and I request that there be an alteration in the mind, that they be renewed in the spirit of their mind to know that as they love you, that good is theirs to command, that good is theirs as a partner, that good is theirs as a servant, that good is there as an ever abiding being to flip any evil script, to flip any damnable script, to flip any sorrow, to flip any heartache, to flip any pain, to flip any confusion. Almighty, allow them to embrace knowing that all these things, no matter how hard, senseless, and formerly meaningless they seem to be, can all be flipped like a switch when we know that something good, something good, something good is working on my behalf. And I bless you. I praise you. I thank you. Yeshua's name, his way, his power, his consciousness. It is so, and so it is. What then do we say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? I want you to type in the comment section, I allow everything to work for my good. Type it in the comment section, I allow everything to work for my good. Come on, type it in the comment section. I allow everything to work for my good. Let me see who's going to put it up. Let me see who's going to put it up. Thank you, my Krista. Let's see here. I allow everything. I allow everything. I allow everything to work for my good. Do you know how many hit songs have been written in situations that the person who wrote it didn't even feel like writing it, but they were moved by whatever their motivation was in the moment of their darkest day to write that song that went global. Bishop Marvin Sapp testified years ago before his beautiful wife passed that he was going through a series of things in his life at the time. Horrific things. And he just got up one day and started singing a song, I never would have made it. And then electrified the audience. And he just thought it was only a song for the moment. And I think he said his wife convinced him to record the song. It became his greatest hit ever. There was good in the pain. The pain wasn't good, but there was good in the pain. Almighty, I just thank you for everybody who's watching me. And I am now pronouncing a blessing over their lives and in their lives. That as they have allowed good to now operate fully, dynamically, and powerfully, that they're going to see such powerful, powerful influence of good overtaking and overshadowing and overcoming miserable circumstances. And I thank you, Almighty, that it truly, truly, truly is working together for the good. Hallelujah. Glory to God. Thank you, 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 thank you. In Yeshua's name. It is so, and so it is. Before I sign off today, how y'all doing? Do you feel what I feel? Do you sense what I sense? Did this word find you in the right moments, very divinely strategic moments of your life? Talk to me. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? How is everybody feeling? I want to know. I want to know. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. There is a power. This is the power that worketh in us that many of you feel in your homes or wherever you're watching me now. And whenever this kind of power manifests in tangible expression, it's here, so to speak, to do work. It's not here just as confirmation. It's here as a propagation, a transmission of power. And this power can destroy any yoke. This power can hold any burden. This power can heal any sickness or any disease. Right now, wherever you are, if you just access the flow, I feel that. If you just access the flow of the presence of the Almighty God, then those things that once held you bound will have to loose you and turn around and leave your life. I sense this so strong within my innermost being. And what I would do if I were you, when I get off of here, I would just thank the Almighty that good is now working fully and completely for me. And I would just rejoice in the good that is present, that is working on my behalf. I want to thank you all as I sign off. Some of you came by my page and thanked me, wished me a happy birthday. Blessings and peace to you. It turned another year. And I don't say it braggadociously, but I lived with intent not to look any chronological age that has been assigned to me. So chronologically, I'm older than what some of y'all probably know, but it's all good. Thank you for your love and your sentiments. And for those who sent cash apps, thank you. Now, as I'm signing off, if you want to give today, you can use the giving opportunities at the bottom of the screen. If you were blessed and you were impacted and you were encouraged today, then you can give as you're blessed to give in love. All right? Appreciate you. I'm going to release you today. There's a sweet presence, a sweet spirit, as we used to say, that's moving through us all, moving through us and hovering over us. And I bid you shalom, shalom, peace, wholeness, prosperity, nothing missing and nothing broken. In Yeshua's name, it is so, And so it is. I'll see some of you all in a few days. I love you.